Last season in Indianapolis in the US, we were crowned champions of the North American Champions League. The problem is, despite the fact that we are the best team in North America technically, we are not even the best team in Jamaica. In fact, we're not even the second best team in Jamaica according to last season. In Season 13, we do have a fairly sizable bit of money to spend, and we are in the positive for the first time in a very, very long time, and quite comfortably in the positive as well, £1.13 million. Most of that obviously coming from winning the North American Champions League. We're probably not going to be spending this transfer budget initially. We might do. I don't think we will, though. I completely neglected to mention this at the end of last season, mainly because I kind of forgot it happened. Basically, we have sold a man called Christopher Harvey. He has moved over to Montreal, over in Canada, in the MLS. He actually left midway through the season, like April time, I believe. He's gone for £26,000, possibly going up to £38,000. Like, I don't understand how they were able to sign him then. I assume that's when their transfer window opens, maybe? Obviously, as you've just seen, we haven't done any more transfer business. We are now going to jump forward then to around September time. The transfer window will have closed. Transfer business will have taken place. We will have obviously played some Caribbean Cup games as well, where we're in a group with Pos, Capois, Pantoja and Violet. We're in the groups with the same teams every single year. We've won it 5 years in a row. It will be 6. Well, so far, 2 games in, we are top of the table, which is no surprise to anybody, beating Violet and Pantoja, scoring a total of 12 goals and conceding just 3. Andy Stravic, top goal scorer, 4 goals scored. Buckner as well, up there with 2, and the highest average rating for Buckner with a 9.2 rating. So transfer business then, one player has left the club on a permanent deal. It is Jesus Stewart, or maybe Jesus Stewart, I'm not quite sure. He has moved over to Cavalier. He's gone for a little bit of money, not a huge amount of money, but he's not really going to get a lot of game time. He did actually score, I believe, in the North American Champions League semi-final. So he's kind of an important player to us, but also I don't think he's going to get a huge amount of game time. Another player to leave, but not on a permanent deal, is Anoa Martinez. The Aruban international has actually gone out on loan. We are getting a bit of money as well for Martinez, so that is obviously quite handy. They do have the option to buy him, though, in the future. I have transfer listed him. Okay, because I just don't think he's necessarily good enough for us anymore. We've also brought in a whole bunch of other players to the club. I say loads, 4, I believe, is what we've brought into the club. First of all, Nigel Buckner, who is no relation to, I've forgotten his name, our attacking midfielder Buckner, the young superstar from Jamaica. He's coming on a free transfer. He's coming for basically a bit of a squad player, but also I feel like he's just much better than Martinez, which is one of the reasons why Martinez has gone out on loan. And another reason is Chadim Aiken, who has signed from Cavalier. He's one of the few players we've actually spent money on. £15,000 we have spent on Aiken. I tried to sign him after he got released from Arnott Gardens. He went to Cavalier, and I went, you know what, I'm doing it. I know for building a nation, you're not supposed to be stealing players from other teams in your nation, but I had my eye on him, and he didn't want to join me, and now he does because we're champions of North America. So you know what, I'm bringing him to the club. We have also gone on a little bit of an expedition over to Guadeloupe and signed Dimitri Gotin, who is a 19 years old right back who has been signed from USC Bananier, might be their name, who has got 13 caps for Guadeloupe and 3 goals as well from right back, which is good to see. Has he come? He has actually come from Guadeloupe. I thought he might have come from France, but was just from Guadeloupe. I don't believe he can become Jamaican, but he can. That's good to see. He is also part French, which is no surprise to anybody because Guadeloupe is basically France, isn't it? And the final player to join the club is Mansour Mbenge, a 19 years old Senegalese under-23 international goalkeeper signed from Generation Foot, and he has actually cost us a lot of money. I believe this has to be our record signing, £130,000 Mbenge has cost us, but at 19 years old, he could be our number 1 goalkeeper forever, or we sell him to a nice team over in Europe, big 50% sell on, and everybody's happy. Obviously, he will be looking to becoming Jamaican within the next 5 years, assuming he stays with us. Speaking of coming Jamaican, Andy Stravic is just 114 days away from getting his Jamaican passport, and he still has no caps for Croatia. He's got under 21 caps, but no actual caps for Croatia. Could Andy Stravic be the first, not only convert, but I say not only convert, obviously he's not the first convert, but be the first convert to get into the Jamaican national side and win caps? He would be good enough. In my opinion, he would be good enough to play for that national side. Armando Miranda, I believe he's got a while to go. Yeah, 1,000 days there. We've got Ignacio Garcia, who has 1,000 days, but also you might have noticed he is leaving the club on a small deal. I'm not quite sure how much it's going to be. £12,000, I believe. So yeah, Garcia is going to be off. Miller Ramirez is Jamaican. I don't think he's going to get good enough to ever play for the Jamaican national side. Stravic, we have already taken a look at. We also have Mbenge, who we've just seen, and Alsane Sonko, who obviously signed last season, and he's got a while to go yet, 1,400 days for Sonko before he can become Jamaican. Something else that has happened as well, West Powell Park has been increased in capacity once again. It is now a 10,731-seater stadium, which is, I was going to say it's the biggest in the country. I feel like it's not even close, is it? Okay, it's the second biggest in the league, and I imagine the Jamaican national side probably playing the biggest stadium in the country. Can we see facilities? Yeah, okay, the 35,000 capacity stadium, which is only played in by Jamaica. So, I mean, we've played some games there, obviously. These are the Caribbean Cup matches. But we have the second biggest stadium now in the league, and I feel like that's going to get bigger. Right then, without further ado, let's jump forward to around the end of December, start of January time. The transfer window will be opening for Season 13. We don't really have a huge amount of money left to go, though. I mean, we have spent some money, obviously, but we're now well over our wage budget, and we are basically back in debt again. So it is 6 in a row then for our Montego Bay United side in the Caribbean Cup, beating Waterhouse, obviously also of Jamaica, in the final 5-2 aggregate victory. Sonko, Buckner and Strabic all scoring 7 goals. Buckner getting an 8.23 average rating, Sonko getting an 8.14 as well. Obviously, we're going to be winning this now. If we don't win the Caribbean Cup, something's gone seriously wrong, or I guess seriously right. Maybe another team from Jamaica will win it because we built the league up so much they're actually competitive with us. Obviously, it does mean we qualify for the North American Champions League next season because of winning that. This current season, we'll be up against Municipal of Guatemala or FC Dallas. So it is going to be FC Dallas. Financially, a 25 or 20,000 capacity stadium. Maybe Municipal of Guatemala might be better. No, 10,000. When it comes to the league, we are currently sitting perfect at the top of the table. 12 wins out of 12 games played, a positive 49 goal difference. It is going to be a ridiculous amount of clean sheets, isn't it, for Mbenge? 7 clean sheets for Mbenge in 12. I feel like he's not played all those games. So he's only got 7 clean sheets in 11. Okay, so one match hasn't been played by Mbenge. Fair enough. But also, I've just noticed the competition reputation. We finally moved up. I can only assume because winning the North American Champions League is the thing that's tipped us over the edge, but we have moved up to 7th place. We've still got a long way to go. Realistically, we want to be in there with Mexico and the US in the top 3. Costa Rica, kind of a weird sort of, not an island, I could say they're an island. Costa Rica are kind of by themselves. I don't see them ever going upwards to the MLS, but also I don't see them dropping downwards either. So we need to kind of challenge Costa Rica, then challenge the MLS and the Mexican First Division. Obviously, this isn't something we can really control. It's not like in Europe, where coefficients are a thing. We just have to work on reputation and just win lots of things. Obviously, the transfer window is open. We haven't done any business as of yet, but we do have some clauses that we can sell if we want to. So Urseg we can sell for 70k, which I don't want to do. Christopher Harvey we can sell for 420 or 452,000 pounds. So that could be a nice big chunk of change coming our way. Kwabema, not really enough at 31, and then Yesayin at 8,000. It's not really worth that either. So we're going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window, see if we can manage to do any business. I don't think we will because we are, as you can see there, minus £500,000 in debt once again. First things first, on the 29th of January, the window has closed and we are still top of the table with 16 wins out of 16. Could this be the season where we go not only undefeated, but a 100% season? Currently, we are on track for this. We are over halfway through the season and have not dropped a single point. 16 wins, and some of them are pretty sizable as well. I think it was like an 8-0 or a 7-1 or something like that took place earlier on in the season. So things are looking up. Sonko's got 17 goals. Or this is it's not a worry, obviously. I don't mind selling players at this point in the save, but he's very good. 17 goals in 12 starts. He's got 32 and 36 in the league in his time at the club. Anyway, transfer business-wise, nothing's happened. We know Ignacio Garcia has left the club. He's moved over to Audax in his native Chile. He's gone there for some pennies, basically. Not really a lot of money to talk about. Duffus, Baldwin and Fletcher all leaving on loan deals. And Orlando Lewis has left the club on a free transfer. He just wasn't really playing. Spent a couple of times out on loan various places. So, yeah, we've got rid of, basically, I was going to say a squad player. I didn't really play. He was on loan last season, wasn't he? I'm just going to take this time very quickly to show you the Club Visions part, or the board part in particular. The board request, I haven't ever completed or asked for anything because we don't have the money to do it. They have been slowly doing stuff in the background, so I think we have gone up in some of our youth room and youth academies and things like that. Obviously, the stadium has been getting bigger as well, but I've not asked for anything. Until we basically get a nice big sum of money coming in from a sell-on clause or something like that, I don't think we're ever going to be able to ask them to say, hey, build me a new training facility or expand the stadium or something like that. We just have to let them do it on their own for now. Right then, let's jump forward then to around April time. We'll obviously have our youth intake, but also we'll see where we finish in the regular season. Can we get a 100% record in the league? Oh, and also, are we going to defend the North American Champions League? That's the thing that we're going to find out as well. 1 draw. 25 wins, 1 draw. Who did we draw against? Waterhouse. Where are Waterhouse? 3rd place Waterhouse. A draw. We almost had a 100% season, but instead we throw it away against Waterhouse. The good news, however, is we are still in the JFF Cup, a competition that we should be winning more frequently than what we are currently winning it, but we're in the final up against Harvard View. And we are still in the North American Champions League as well, up against Columbus Crew of the MLS. In the other semi-final, it is Colorado versus America. I'm hoping we can do back-to-back North American Champions League. So how did we get here? First round, we obviously didn't play. In the second round, we beat Dallas, but only just 3-1 on aggregate. In the quarterfinal, we beat Tigres 8-3 on aggregate. Fair enough. And then, obviously, we're now into the semi-final. Did we get any other Jamaican sides? Who was it likely to be? Waterhouse were there, and they lost against Monterey. Also, AC Pos managed to get in there from Trinidad and Tobago. So that's obviously quite good. I don't know why I've only just realised this, but Pos is Port of Spain, isn't it? Which I'm pretty sure is the capital of Trinidad. Anyway, it's also not good that they're there. I don't care about them. We're not trying to build Trinidad and Tobago as a nation. Although, fun fact, I nearly did. I genuinely have a thumbnail made for a Trinidad and Tobago building a nation save that I was going to do in FM22, I believe. I just never got round to doing it. So, all in all, things have gone very, very well. I would like to have got that 100% record, but obviously it's not the end of the world that we haven't got it. From a youth intake perspective, it is an excellent intake, and we have some players who I think could be quite good in the future. We've got Gary Sherlock. I'm not saying he's going to be a superb goalkeeper, a world-class goalkeeper, but he's going to be good. I think he's going to be a player that can stick around for quite a while. We have Zane Allen is what I'm going to call him, and I like Zane Allen. Zane Allen will be playing first-team football next season, I think. I don't know whether he's a left-back. This shape is not a left-back shape. This shape is a centre-back shape, but he is 5'8" and can't header. So we need to make sure we're training him up to probably be a decent left-back. We've got George Stevenson as well, a decent-looking striker. Is he part English? I feel like we get a few English players coming through. Yeah, we do. So we've got a part English striker. Carson Earbanks, another player who I think there could be something there. Mentally, he's got some reasonable numbers. Physically, got some reasonable numbers. Technically, not amazing, but I think he could be quite good. He's also part Caymany? That's not a word, is it? Cayman? I think that's what it is. We've also got Jevon Lewis, another really good-looking attacking midfielder this time around. Mentally, really good mentally. Technically and physically, not awful, but obviously he's only 15, so we've got plenty of time to develop. So we've got some good players there. We've also got Javon Shaw, who's very quick. Mentally doesn't look horrendous either. And Will Harrison as well. Pretty good speed-wise. Mentally, not amazing. Technically, not amazing either. So I think this might be our best ever youth intake. I'm pinning high hopes on Gary Sherlock, Allen, Stevenson, and Ebanks. Lewis, yeah, sure, all five of them will be getting first team football for us. Maybe, just maybe. I mean, Ebanks is not Ebanks. Zane Allen is already a 2-star current ability player. So just looking at him, he's actually our 4th best left back, and our best left back is Jermaine Reese. And if we just do this comparison, I mean, they're not similar. Obviously, they're definitely not similar, but Allen is better technically. Reese is better mentally. Reese is better physically. But there's not a lot in it. Allen might be our number 1 left back. Very, very soon. It might be our number 1 left back before the end of the episode. Just before we go too much further, I wanted to quickly check the finances. We have brought in obviously some money from gate receipts, but not a lot of money. We need to make sure we win the North American Champions League, which is a ridiculous statement to say after we've won it once and we haven't been very good any other time in it. We can win the treble, technically the quadruple. because we won the Caribbean Cup, we're in the JFF Cup, we could win the Jamaican Premier League and the North American Cup as well. Looking at the JFF Cup then, we have absolutely dominated the final against Harbourview with a 5-0 victory. That is 2 trophies in the cabinet this season, the Caribbean Cup and now the JFF Cup. And joining the JFF Cup, we have the Jamaican Premier League as well, defeating Arnott Gardens 4-0 in the final. Sonko scoring 30 goals in the league this season. We are now 3 trophies in the cabinet thanks to the Jamaican Premier League. Can we make it a perfect 4 for 4? The answer is 100% yes. And not only that, it was a perfect performance. Strabic opening the scoring after 17 minutes. Then into the second half, Buckner collects it forward to Leo Campbell. On the ground to Strabic again. Campbell makes a run, collects it in the penalty area, makes it 2-0. A few minutes later, Whitman, the Austrian, collects it on that left-hand side, runs into the middle, finds Buckner, across to Strabic, back to Buckner, and once again we score, making it 3-0. But we weren't done there. Gotin, the Guadeloupe international, collects it on the edge of the area, goes for a little run on the ground to Buckner. Can he get his second of the game? Of course he can get his second of the game. It's now 4. And we still were not done. Sonko chests the ball down in the middle to Aiken. Buckner on that left-hand side finds Reese. He goes for goal and the fullback makes it 5-0. And we're still not finished. On the 77th minute, we come forward again. Gotin this time on the right-hand side. Crosses the ball in. Finds Leo Campbell. Blasts it into the top corner. Making it 6-0. It was a consolation goal in the 91st minute from America, but we run away with the North American Champions League for a second time and a 6-1 victory in the final. And not only that, we probably could have had a 7th. In fact, we technically did have a 7th. Strabic scored, but it did get disallowed. It was a perfect performance, and I cannot believe we are back-to-back North American Champions League winners. And the first thing I do is check the finances. £910,000 in the bank. It's not a huge amount of money, but obviously it is positive. It is actual positive money. That is very, very good to see. I've just seen Alsan Sonko, 43 goals in all competitions. That is ridiculous. 48 matches he's played in the league, scoring 45 goals, 33 appearances, 36 goals scored. There is a wanted sign. There is a wanted sign on Sonko. Now, obviously, after the season he's had, I don't want to lose him. But if that comes back as like a big team in Europe, this could be game-changing. Of course it is. It's Saudi Arabian sides. I don't want to sell him to Saudi Arabia. The problem with selling him to Saudi Arabia is we will not get that sell-on money. He will never leave one of those clubs. Or if he does, he'll leave when his contract expires. What we want him to do is go to a team in Europe who will then sell him on to another team in Europe for like 70, 80 million pounds. Right now, it's only teams in Saudi Arabia, and I don't want to do any sales to Saudi Arabia if I think they're as good as somebody like Sonko is. I feel like he could be world class. Speaking of world class, obviously he's not, but he's world class in my eyes. He's actually really good, isn't he? Alwyn Buckner, now 20 years old, 20 goals scored. In fact, it was 27 once you include the Caribbean Cup. Andy Strabic, who is Jamaican, and he's actually Jamaican, not second nationality Jamaican. 25 goals in all competitions. He's got no Jamaica caps yet. Is he in the squad? This is what I want to know. Andy Strabic is in the squad. Oh, could it happen? Could Andy Strabic get himself some Jamaica caps? There's a lot of players in this squad. I imagine. Is there like a World Cup coming up? There is a World Cup coming up, and it is in Kings Park Stadium. It's in South Africa. Fair enough. So Italy, Angola, and Colombia are in Group I with Jamaica. I mean, realistically, I've not paid too much attention to the national side at the moment, purely because we've not had a huge amount of an impact to that side yet. We have made a few reasonable players. Obviously, Andy Strabic joining is good. Buckner is in the provisional squad, but that is it. Like, I know we've also the other Buckner, Nigel's in there as well. So we've got 3 players who are in the provisional squad. Maybe we need to start looking at some of these players here, like Staple, for example. Like maybe, I mean, he's at Chelsea, but he's Jamaican. Maybe we look at this man. He's playing for Harbourview. Okay, I'm trying to find players who aren't playing in Jamaica, who are Jamaican. He's probably a little bit pricey. Although, looking at it, maybe we can like loan one of these players. Maybe if they're not like amazing playing at a high club, maybe we can loan them to us. Like, he's at Vancouver. He is playing some games though, so that's fair enough. Some of these players are absolutely insane, aren't they? So, season 13 in the bag. We are back-to-back North American Champions League champions. We have won the quadruple, the Caribbean Cup, the JFF Cup, the Jamaican Premier League, and the North American Champions League in season 14. Can we do it again? Something amazing could be happening in season 14. Alsan Sonko, as we saw from the end of season 13, is wanted by a bunch of teams in Saudi Arabia, but also now Manchester City have a rumoured interest, and the reason has significant potential, could break into the first team sooner rather than later. So, maybe season 14 might be the season where we're not going to get money from him. We'll get maybe 50k, something like that. But if we get a 50% sell-on in there, that's going to be game-changing. That is going to be absolutely game-changing for us. Anyway, obviously at the start of season 14, we have got the regular competitions, the Jamaican Premier League that we are champions of, the Caribbean Cup that we are currently champions of, JFF Cup that we are currently champions of, and the North American Champions League that we are also currently champions of. We need to win all 4 of them again. And to help us try and strengthen our squad, we've got around £400,000 to spend and a little bit of wage budget. We're probably not going to do a huge amount of anything, really. Although I said that last season and I spent £180,000 on a goalkeeper. So expect me to spend £200,000 on a right back that we don't need. It happened. It actually happened. Sonko has moved over to Man City. He's gone into their under-21, so he's not going to be playing first-team football. I did try and get him back into the club for another season. They didn't want to do that. They were like, no, not a chance, guys. So Sonko has moved on, £50,000, but the massive, massive thing is that 50% sell-on. That could change the course of history of this building a nation save with Montego Bay. He wasn't the only player to leave over the summer. Chevron Snag has moved over to Veer United. Basically, I think he was slowly becoming Jamaican. He's got a year left to go, but we were just never playing him. So yeah, he's moved over to Veer United. He's hopefully going to become Jamaican, which I guess is a good thing. 6 players have joined the club over the summer for us. Jan Benoit is first up, another Guadeloupean international signing on a free transfer. Defence midfielder or centre-back, brought in for absolutely nothing, like I said. Definitely one for the future. He is in the reserves at the moment. He will become Jamaican in 5 years' time, but he's not good enough for us. What I want to try and do is loan him out. As you can see, he is loan listed, and basically send him off on loan to somebody else in Jamaica, and they can get some use out of him. Next up to join is another player who I brought in basically for a little bit of, hopefully, future-proofing. It's O'Neill Blair. Obviously, we saw last season's youth intake. We've actually got a really good left-back, but I see Blair more as maybe a centre-back because he's not fast, but he is 6'2" and has 11 heading. He's come in on a free, gone out on loan for this season. We brought in a Uruguayan centre-back called Martin Gomez, who, much like Jan Benoit, he's not going to be playing for us for this season, and he's okay with that. He's going to sit in the reserves. He's going out on the loan list, so if somebody does want to bring him in, he will be going out on loan to somebody in Jamaica. Slotting straight into the first team, however, is Ivan Baez, a Paraguayan international, 1 cap to his name, signed on a free transfer. I think he's good. I mean, he's got the numbers in the right places. Realistically, he's not going to be setting the world on fire with some of his kind of attributes. They're not amazing, but what we need for what we play, he's perfect for it. So Ivan Baez could be doing a really good job for us. I have loan listed him, by the way, more because if somebody wanted to take him, they can have him. We do have way more than 5 non-Jamaican footballers right now. Because we've also got a Kazakh defender called Artem Chologov, who has signed from CSKA Almaty in his native Kazakhstan. He's come in for £10,000, which is not a lot of money, but I think he could be good. He's certainly one for the future. Like I said, he's loan listed, probably not going to be playing much, if any, for us at the moment, but he is in the club. And the final player to join, once again, I did this last season, I said we shouldn't be doing it. I've done it again. Nick Priestley has signed from Cavalier. He has cost us £26,500, but I think he could be really, really good. One of the reasons why I brought him in is because we don't have a huge amount of players who are actually in the Jamaica side, and I feel like he could be getting in the Jamaica side. When you look at it, this is ridiculous. Nigel Buckner's in there, but Alwyn Buckner isn't in that Jamaican side. So that's been our transfer business. You can also see here a whole host of loan deals going on. I don't think it's anything too exciting. Most of the time, they just kind of go out on loan to some lower down sides in Jamaica. But I do obviously try and loan them out when I get the chance. And speaking of Jamaica, there was a World Cup, okay? So we will take a look to see how it went awful. It went awful, okay. I was hoping they'd do something of interest. They got a 2-2 draw against Colombia with a 95th minute equaliser against 10-man Colombia as well. I mean, they finished, I assume, just rock bottom of their group with 1 point out of a possible 9. They're just not good, are they? They're just not good. I have seen that, though. Nick Priestley did score against St Kitts and Nevis, which I assume is what that one goal there is. And Andy Stravic didn't get a cap. He didn't get a cap for the Jamaica side. So frustrating. Right, whilst we're here talking about players turning Jamaican, I'm not going to go through everybody, but I will point out that we do have way more than 5 non-Jamaican footballers. So we have Miranda, we have Kevin Whitman, who has kind of been promoted to the first team. He's been sort of there or thereabouts for the last few seasons. So he's good enough, but he's not like amazing. We've got Dimitri Godin, who we joined last season. He's really, really quite a good player. We have Shologov, we have Bays, we have Mbenge. So we've got, I think, what's that, 6 maybe? 6 non-Jamaicans, so one of them's not getting in the squad. The other thing before we go and take a look at the fixtures so far from the Caribbean Cup, Zane Allen, who joined us last season in a youth intake, I said he might be our number 1 left back for the season. I think he is. I've not picked him, okay? So if we actually look at tactics, I've not picked anyone. I've not hard-locked anybody in. But I think Allen's going to be playing there ahead of Reece. I think it's going to happen. He's already played once. That one game, by the way, was in the Caribbean Cup, which was a 2-0 victory against Port of Spain from Trinidad and Tobago. So we're currently sat second place in the table. But as we know, we're just going to win this. There was another competition as well that I set up, and it was utterly ridiculous. Because of the Sonko deal, I basically was allowed to play a friendly against Man City, and I thought, you know what, let's try and make the most of this. Let's make them play against a few other sides as well. For some reason, I picked teams from Canada. Probably should have picked some Jamaican sides, shouldn't I? Because they might have got some money from it. But what it meant is we did get huge, huge chunks of money from ticket sales, I believe. I think if we go this season, so we've got £760,000 from ticket sales this season. Because what happened is we got ticket sales for all of those matches, but I believe also for that Halifax versus Man City, we got those ticket sales. For Quebec versus Man City, we got those ticket sales as well. So we've done really, really well. Right, quite a long-winded start to the season. We are going to jump forward now to just after Christmas to see how well things have gone on. See us lifting the Caribbean Cup for the 7th time, I believe, in a row. And then obviously we'll be going straight into a transfer window with, once again, minus £1 million in the bank. So, just for confirmation, we did win the Caribbean Cup once again. So we are now 7-time back-to-back winners of the Caribbean Cup. At this point, you would imagine the North American Football Federation, or whatever they're called, I have no idea. Is it CONMEBOL? I don't know. They would kind of change their mind and go, you know what, maybe Jamaica shouldn't be in this. Maybe the winning side from the Jamaican League should just go straight into the Champions League. Anyway, we don't have to. We have to go through this mess because Football Manager doesn't kind of simulate that, which is fair enough. So yeah, we beat Mount Pleasant in the final. In the Jamaican Premier League, we are currently top of the table, 12 wins out of 12, positive 68 goal difference. Ivan Bays is currently on 14 league goals. He's got 21 in 18 starts. He's ridiculous. He's doing absolute bits. Andy Stroud has got 4 man of the match awards, and Benge's got 8 clean sheets as well. He's wanted. Hold on, who's he wanted by? Al Hazim of Saudi Arabia. Don't really want to sell him to Saudi Arabian sides. So obviously it is a transfer window. Yeah, this is our state of affairs for our finances. It's just not good, is it? It's just not good. We are well over our wage budget. We are well under our transfer budget, but we are also well over our bank spending limit because we are now negative £1.6 million. We could obviously fix some things. We could sell Urseg, sell on for 70k, Harvey for nearly £500,000, which isn't bad. Quabella, not worth really talking about. Same with Yesian. And there is the Sonko deal, 50% sell on. 50% sell on. Even if we kind of came to an agreement now, so they might do 34 divided by 2. So what was that, 17 million? 17 million is a life-changing amount of money for our club. I might take it, I might just take that money. Well, it's now the 27th of January and some bad news. Armando Miranda has moved on to Saudi Arabia. He's now worth £30 million. Amazing, you might think. Is there a 50% sell-on in there? No, because for some reason, he had a £14,000 minimum fee release clause in his contract that I couldn't get rid of when one team from Saudi Arabia said, what about we sign Miranda? And he went, yep, that'll do. I'll take that money because now he's getting paid £31,000 a week. He's not the only player to move on to bigger and better things. Luther de Oliveira has moved on to Charlotte FC in the MLS, and he does have a sell-on in there. He's gone for £11,500, possibly going up a little bit higher. I think we've got a friendly that we're able to play against Charlotte FC, but also a 50% sell-on as well. So maybe this might bring us, it's not going to bring us millions, but it might bring us, let's say, £700,000. That'll be good. We do also have one player joining the club because Miranda left. I went, oh, balls, we need a new centre-back. So we found a Brazilian called Fernando Guerreiro. He is a free transfer, formerly of Flamengo. He's got under 20s caps. He's 23 years old, so he's arguably, this is kind of the level where he should be playing week in, week out. He will be playing week in, week out for us for a season at the very least. I think he's all right. He's not going to be amazing. I feel like Miranda was a much better footballer. But that was our transfer business. It means financially, yep, things are not looking good. Our transfer budget has gone, by the way, because I have moved into our wage budget. There's nothing fancy has happened. I've just kind of reassigned some money in places. And I just want to double check, so we still can't sell this Sonko deal. I'm just going to check this every single time now, because at some point we are going to be able to sell it, and I'm probably just going to do it. Anyway, football's also taken place, hasn't it? We are still top of the Jamaican Premier League. We've got 15 wins and a draw. Mount Pleasant FC this time are the team that have done it. We've also jumped up to 5th in the competition rankings. That's big. We have moved up from 8th to 5th in just a few seasons. It's only Honduras now that stand in our way between Costa Rica. And if we can get past Costa Rica, we are just on the hunt for the big boys of the MLS and Mexico. Obviously, North American Champions League, because we are defending. We are defending the North American Champions League, but because we won the Caribbean Cup last season, we are in this at the second round, which is most likely going to be up against Real Salt Lake. We still need to keep an eye on stadiums, just because basically finances are still a problem for us, aren't they? So it's not going to be a big stadium. It's not going to be a lot of tickets. We need to win this again. Right then, I guess let's jump forward then to the end of the regular season. Around April time, we'll have our youth intake. We'll win the league, but not win a trophy just yet. But hopefully we will be back-to-back champions of Jamaica. Big things are happening, okay? Big things are happening. We have won the league once again. 100 goal difference. That's not just 100 goals scored. That's 100 goal difference. We scored 113 goals. 12 of them against Dunbeholden, a team who finished 9th. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely insane. We are also into the JFF Cup final once again. This time, Portmore United will be our opponents. Can we make it 2 for 2? And it'll be our 4th win in 5 years as well. And we are still in the North American Champions League. Last time around, I believe it was just a bunch of US sides plus America from Mexico. This time around, it is all Mexican. It's Tigres, America, and Monterrey. So how did we get here? Second round, it was Herediano. We beat them 7-0. Fair enough. Then in the next round, it was Alajuelense. That's probably how it's said, isn't it? We beat them, obviously, of Costa Rica. Yes, Costa Rica. Beat them in the quarterfinals, setting up the semi-final against Monterrey. I think we could make it 3 for 3. From the youth intake, we've got one player, really, that I want to I think he's going to be the big star. We've got a couple that I think might be okay. Omar Garvey could be alright. He's got some reasonable technical numbers, like 14 finishing is pretty good. Physically, not superb, but alright. Mentally, not very good at all. We also have Andre White. As you can probably tell, Delissa is the one that I'm kind of interested in. White doesn't look amazing, but for some reason, he's got maybe 3.5 star potential. Somebody who I think will be pretty good is Kamar Delissa, 16 years old, central defender or central midfielder. He'll be a centre-back for us, I believe. 20 determination, 17 bravery, 13 jumping reach and 12 heading. He's got some really good numbers in really good places, and then really bad numbers in really bad places, like marking of 7, tackling of 9, positioning of 8, not good. Concentration of 7, not good. But he is only 16 years old. If we can kind of get some training in on him, get some of those numbers up, Delissa could be an actual Jamaican international, I reckon. So after last season's really good youth intake, this one not so good. But I think we've still got one, maybe two. Garvey and Delissa, I think, could be pretty good. Right, one more thing left to do then, and that is to jump to the end of the season. And can we win the quadruple back-to-back? Well, first of all, the JFF Cup. We have that in the bag. So, 2 trophies so far. The Jamaican Premier League makes it 3 out of 4, beating Arnett Gardens 3-0 in the final. And in the North American Champions League, America will not want to play us ever again because we win that once again. Guerrero with the opening goal of the match. English plays it on the ground. back to Coates. English, I think, is the one that gets this goal. He does, making it 2-0. And then it is all finished off by the Paraguayan striker in the 93rd minute. Whitman finds English on the ground, finds Nick Coates. Through ball to Bays, takes a couple of touches, passes it past the goalkeeper, makes it 3-0 against America. They were kind of unlucky in this, okay? They did have a player sent off after 38 minutes when it was 0-0. And then from that point onwards, we just absolutely battered them. But we are back-to-back champions of the North American Champions League. We've done the quadruple twice in a row. This is kind of how things should be when you're building a nation. Ultimately, it's going to start getting quite boring, I believe. But the interesting part is when it's going to come to things like the transfers and the finances. So 402,000 or negative 402,000 in the bank at the moment. But we do have these clauses that we can sell. That's obviously the big one. De Oliveira is available for 248. Urseg, still not a lot. Quabena, still not a lot. And Yasayin is also awful, £4,000. I'm tempted to just take it, just so I've got that money. So just looking at the squad, I did lock in Allen, by the way. I wasn't kind of sure whether he'd play, and I've just seen he's our second top goal scorer. That's ridiculous. We have 6 players who scored at double figures. We've got Coates, 18 years old, came through our youth intake a couple of seasons ago. He's good. Niquan Coates is getting a lot of goals. I'm liking that. Andy Strabic, still no Jamaica caps. He's picking up a bunch of goals, as you would expect. Colin Hernandez on the left wing, who I believe... He came into the squad once I sold Quabena. I think I promised that once Quabena was sold, Hernandez would get a lot of game time, and he is getting game time and scoring some goals. Buckner, who isn't locked in the squad anymore, because basically he is one of our best players, so we just get in there on merit, scoring loads and loads of goals. Zane Allen from left back, I've just seen he has scored 11 or 10 penalties, so that would be why he is up there with his 8 penalty taken. I think he's good. I think Allen could be really good for us. And then Ivan Bays at the top of the list. 26 goals and 28 league appearances. I don't think he's improved much. He might have improved, but he's got 40 goals in 40 by St. Louis. Okay, we've got some players wanted by teams over. I don't like that one. And Benge to Al Ettifaq. Anyone else? Don't think so. I also don't know the status of nationalities. Whitman's got 60 days. Kevin Whitman's got 60 days before he becomes Jamaican, and he's not got any Austria caps. And he's only 23. Kevin Whitman, hear me out, my brain's just gone really, really strange direction here, but Kevin Whitman could get 90 caps playing for Jamaica. It's possible, okay? They'd have to have some really long runs in a World Cup and stuff like that, but Kevin Whitman could get 90 caps playing for Jamaica. That's a thing that could happen. Guerrero, new signing, so he's not going to be getting any close. Gotin, he's still got a while to go, hasn't he? Because he's a relatively new signing. We've also got Sholagov, who I think we signed. Did we sign? He can't become Jamaican. He can't become Jamaican. Well, you might just need to leave then, guy. There's no point in having you here. Bays, who's obviously new signing, so he's got ages to go for you. And Benge, still got probably 3 years. Yep, looks like 3 years for Benge. Martin Gomez, Gomez is good, isn't he? Obviously, he's a new signing, so yeah, he's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So, I think that's a good... It's obvious we've had a good season from on the pitch, but off the pitch, we have sold Sonko with a 50% sell onto Man City. That could save the club financially. We've also got in a few... Over the last couple of seasons, we've gotten some pretty decent youth players, I believe, come through, which is nice to see as well. We've got some players in our squad, like Bays, who, if nobody takes him, he could stay around for years... Kevin Whitman could be getting Jamaica caps. I think that could be the first player to get Jamaica caps. Strabic should be, but I don't think it's going to happen. Kevin Whitman could be that man. Things are going really well for our Montego Bay United side.